Hi there, my name is Melissa Warner with Chateau Recovery, and I'll be sharing information about the NeurOptimal neurofeedback system. My goal is to review the benefits and effectiveness of dynamical neurofeedback, as well as walk you through a step-by-step process of how to set up the system, run your session, and then have a successful experience. So let's get started. What is neurofeedback? Neurofeedback is an advanced form of biofeedback specifically related to tracking and giving real-time information about the brain. Neurofeedback has also been described as a painless, non-invasive way to restore central nervous system function. And a lot of my clients refer to neurofeedback as a deeply meditative experience that enhances the mind-body connection. There are two types of neurofeedback on the market. The first was developed in the 1950s and is known as linear neurofeedback. This is definitely a protocol-based model. And here at Chateau Recovery, we use the second type of neurofeedback, which is known as a dynamical system. The real focus, the real goal of therapy is to retrain the brain to operate in a way that is relaxed, resilient, flexible, and ultimately adaptable, so that as you're navigating through life, you more effortlessly maintain your flow state. And the only model on the market that is the dynamical system is known as the NeurOptimal neurofeedback system. So how do we develop this optimal state of brain functioning? Well, a dynamical neurofeedback system uses 5 small metal discs known as electrodes, connects them to the cranial space to then measure brainwave activity in the cerebral cortex. And that part of the brain is located directly under the skull and is responsible for all sensory information. So in any given life experience, whether it's in the morning and you're getting the kids to school, or the middle of the day and you're having a big business meeting, or the end of the day and you're reviewing your checklist of responsibilities and seeing whether you executed all of them or not. All of these life experiences, we're taking in a diverse array of sensory information, which might include visual information, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, kinesthetic or tactile information, and then also, let's see if I can do it, proprioceptive information. Come on, Lefty, where is my body in space? And so the advanced NeurOptimal technology is collecting all of this real-time information at 256 times a second. And just like looking into a mirror, it's reflecting back to itself everything that is occurring at any given moment of time. The information being collected is then presented through subtle pauses or like record scratches in the music you're listening to. And it's those pauses that then invite the brain to come back to the present moment. So your experience might sound or feel something like this. La, 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 and you get the picture. Again, in someone's first session, those glitches might seem weird, unique or different, but that's the information out of the ordinary that clues into the nervous system and the brain to, boom, come back to the stability of the still point of now. And this constant feedback loop of communication not only lets the brain respond, but it lets the brain learn, again, what it is to come back to a stable moment, right? The still point of now. And as we practice that over and over and over again in this 33-minute session, and ultimately, as you continue neurofeedback therapy, or having that 33-minute session every day or every other day, this repeated brain training leads to personal transformation. Now that we know the importance of the NeurOptimal neurofeedback system, let's review how to set up the system, run your session, and start brain training. So at Chateau Recovery, there will be a neurofeedback room, somewhere in the building. You'll find the room, look in, there are multiple neurofeedback sessions set up. Sit in your chair, and when you come to the computer, you'll see 3 screens that are up on the system. The first screen is typically on the left-hand side. It is known as the vault and has all the clients' names and the date and time of their sessions. The screen on the right-hand side of the computer is known as G-Force. This is it's a visually decompressing collection of pictures and colors to look at, so that during your session, if you want to tune into that, that definitely is an option. And then the last screen is a small menu bar where at any time during your session, you have access to pause or stop the session. So those are on the screen and the system is ready to start. But before you push go, we want to make sure that the electrodes are hooked on. So there are 5 electrodes. One string has 3 lines and the other string has 2 lines. And also as reference, you can look at the Z-amp box and see that there is a picture, a reference box of where to place each of the electrodes. Before you put the electrode on, you'll want to pick up the jar of conductive paste. This enhances the ability of the system to collect the electrical information in the brain. And so it's recommended to put on just a dollop of neurofeedback paste, a small ice cream scoop, just enough paste to cover that small metal disc. And you should have access to a mirror so that the black electrode goes to the base of the right ear. Both blue electrodes go to the tops of both ears. I like to go from bottom to top. And the yellow electrodes, then they attach directly to the skull. So if you put your thumb at the top of your ears and then bring your fingers together at the middle of your crown, right? So slide both finger and thumb together and you come to kind of a natural ridge in the skull. We want to connect the yellow electrodes just below that. So it's about 1 inch from the top of the ear. This is known as your C3, C4. I need a little bit more paste. C3, C4 regions of the skull. And try your best to separate your hair so that you can get access to a clean scalp. The system is very advanced, and so we're doing our best, but knowing even these yellow electrodes, there's a general area that's acceptable for them to be placed. So, getting it in that range is what we're focusing on. We definitely do not want to put the electrodes, here and here. But if you're putting them somewhere around that 1 inch mark above the top of the ears, they're in a golden place. So electrodes are attached. Let's get our headphones on. Gently place them in a comfortable manner over the electrodes. The headphones will either be in a Bluetooth form or with a line connected into the computer. Again, get those on. You're feeling cozy, comfortable, and the neurofeedback machines are touchscreens, so you can double tap on your name or click on your name and relax and enjoy your session. It's important to note that there isn't a right or wrong way to experience neurofeedback. You can sit back and read, talk, play a game, color, journal, anything that you want to enhance the experience. Everything's going on at an unconscious level. And so I'm receiving that feedback loop of therapy, as I'm experiencing life in any manner. When your session is over, after those 33 minutes, and the clock on the menu bar will count down second by second, your session naturally stops. The music stops. It brings you back to the home page, and then you can take off the electrodes. Oh, it is common to get them stuck in your hair. That's okay too. So after you've removed the electrodes, there should be a container of wet wipes nearby. Please clean the conductive paste off of the electrodes. And then I like to be organized so that when I come in, my session is, the electrodes are ready for my next session. So I gently wrap those around the Z-app, and I've had a successful experience.